Today's topic is investigating workplace misconduct. So as an employer, you receive a complaint from an employee regarding, for example, an unlawful harassment claim where someone has been giving someone a hard time based on a protected status such as race or disability or age or sex. So how do you handle that? What are the first and primary steps you need to take as an employer to minimize your liability? So a couple items to think about when you're preparing to conduct an investigation. One, who is the person receiving the reports? What do your policies say? Did this person go to their supervisor? Did they go to human resources? Did they go to someone else? Your policies should be clear as to who these individuals are to report claims of unlawful harassment. And it should have multiple reporting outlets, so it should not just be human resources. And typically it should not be a supervisor, because supervisors, generally speaking, are not trained in handling complaints of discrimination. The next item for consideration is, who is your Nancy Drew? Who's your Magnum PI? You need to have an investigator who will take this seriously, who's trained in conducting investigations. It also would help if it's someone who employees generally think highly of and trust. So in preparing for your investigation, you want to develop an overall strategy. Who, what, where, when, what happened, where did it happen? Was it in the locker room? Was it at a desk? Was it at a cubicle? What time did it happen? Who witnessed the events? Those are all important elements that you need to address in preparing for any interview. Now, the first step would be to interview the person who's making the claim, and we'll just refer to that person as the victim at this point. First and foremost, if you have a policy, if you have a harassment policy in place, you want to raise that as an issue, saying, bring it out, bring a copy to the meeting and present it to the employee and say, here's the reason we're here. We're investigating a complaint of harassment. This is our policy. This is why we're doing it. I also want to advise you that I need you to tell the truth under all circumstances. And then finally, there's the issue of confidentiality. Now, you do not want to guarantee confidentiality. You can tell the person, we're going to try to keep this as confidential as possible, but don't guarantee confidentiality, because it's one of those things that may end up coming back to bite you. If you talk to a supervisor about a situation and the supervisor mentions it to someone else, then all of a sudden everyone in the workplace knows about it. Now, with respect to the interviews, typical order would be to interview the victim first, and then any witnesses that the victim identifies. Next would be the accused, and then finally, any witnesses that the accused identifies. After conducting your interviews, you want to put together a final report. You want to review them closely to make sure they're error-free and they're free of grammar mistakes and things along those lines. There's nothing worse than preparing a report that's filled with spelling errors and grammar errors and then having to address that with respect to a jury. A jury is going to look at that and say, well, this person couldn't even take the time to do spell check. How do I trust them that they put together a proper report? And finally, your report needs to be objective. You are making a credibility determination, and so your objectivity is key under the circumstances. And then the next step would be discipline. What do you do? How do you handle it? Obviously, it depends on the severity of the situation. If it's a severe incident, then it's likely going to lead to termination. If it's less severe and the parties seem to be able to get along, then it may be a situation where you simply transfer one person from one part of the building to the other. Ultimately, in conclusion, you are not required to be right in your investigation. This isn't a criminal court of law. You don't have to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. You simply have to conduct the investigation thoroughly, swiftly, and completely, and put together a report that objectively sets forth the facts.